Also, there's a really amazing thing that James Madison wrote 240 years ago, roughly, 238 years ago. Okay, so he wrote this in Federalist Paper number 10, which was written in 1787. And this is what he said. So I'm going to read it like he said it, and then I'm going to translate it, because it needs translating. So strong is this propensity of mankind to fall into mutual animosities that where no substantial occasion presents itself, the most frivolous and fanciful of distinctions have been sufficient to kindle their unfriendly passions and excite their most violent conflicts. So, contemporary English, we as a species want to break up into groups. And we just want to be angry at the other group. This is so deeply wound into us that we'll focus on the most insignificant, unimportant issue. So, for example, if I had a class for 16 weeks, college class for 16 weeks, and I tied yellow ribbons around the arms of half the class and purple ribbons around the arms of the other half of the class, by about week 10, somebody will be dead. We've done multiple experiments on this. The prisoner experiment, the Stanford prisoner experiment, is probably the most famous and the funnest of them, where it's a group of college students volunteering to be guards and prisoners, and I don't remember how many days it lasted. It was just a few before people are 3, and people are hospitalized. You know this isn't real. In other words, our ability to determine where the boundary between reality and fake is very thin. But the most common and durable source of factions has been the various and unequal distribution of property. And then he goes on to say, this is why we're creating the government we created. He ends up regretting it and then creates a political party to fight back against the government he created. But his warning is, if we're going to unleash this kind of electoral republic on the world, we need to be careful because it's going to be the tendency of people to form into these factions. He obviously failed, but it's interesting that he warned us that we would get to this point, and we didn't pay attention. We should pay attention to the past.